Have the world's worst fear come true? Has the world's largest economy slipped into a recession? Well, the latest US GDP figures only seem to have amplified this debate, which has been raging over the last few months. Now, we all know that the world has been increasingly on the brink of a recession, thanks to prices running amok, the raging Russia-Ukraine war that has wrecked the global supply chain, and fuel supplies looking frail across Europe. Now, coming to America, in the January to March quarter, the economy contracted by 1.6%. And this quarter, the economy has shrunk by nearly 1%. Now, that's 2 straight quarters of contraction. So, if you go by the textbook definition of recession, then technically, yes, America has entered a recession. But officially, it's the National Bureau of Economic Research, a non-profit group of economists that defines when the US is in a recession. And it doesn't just look at the GDP figures, but also takes into account other factors like employment figures, personal income, industrial production, among other things. Also, the NBER defines a recession as a significant slump in economic activity that lasts more than a few months. So it's a little more complicated than it appears. But here lies the good news. The US job market is at a multi-year high and the jobless rate remains near pre-pandemic lows. So it's not all gloom and doom for the economy. This is exactly what even Fed Chief Jerome Powell pointed out recently. He virtually ruled out a recession, citing the strength in the US labor market. So the question remains, is the US in a recession or not? Well, going by the facts, it's quite unlikely because never has there ever been a recession declared without a loss of employment. And jobs are being added in the US by hundreds of thousands monthly. Wages are up and labor demand is strong. But then there are red flags and there are quite a few. Inflation is red hot and is hovering at over 40-year highs, as a result of which the Fed has been hiking interest rates and that too at an aggressive pace. Consumer confidence has collapsed, housing markets are cooling off, and stock markets, as we all know, are extremely volatile. Even though Powell has ruled out a recession, and it's a big but, he expects the Fed's rate hikes to slow the economy and the job market to weaken going forward. And then, when that happens, it'll surely feel like a recession. Now, the IMF has recently slashed global growth forecast and warned the downside risks from high inflation and the Ukraine-Russia war could push the world economy to the brink of recession. It has also sharply lowered India's growth forecast for FY23. But it has also said that India will remain one of the fastest growing economies in the world, both in FY23 and FY24. So even though India may have its own share of challenges, a recession may not be one of them. A Bloomberg survey says that the probability of India falling into a recession is 0. And that sounds like music to the ears, doesn't it? But why is that so? The survey said that the odds of US and Europe entering into a recession are 40% and 50% respectively. But for Asia, it's just 20 to 25%. Besides, a US recession will cause global commodity prices to cool off, and that will be a silver lining for India.